Before Telltale was known for the Walking Dead games and also shutting down but not shutting down at the same time, they released a couple of games known as the Poker Night at the Inventory series. The series was pretty much just taking the format they used in their old Texas Hold'em game, but instead of using nobody characters that they made for the game, they decided to use actually licensed characters. It made these games stand out, and I really enjoy them. The series was pretty dormant for a while, but recently the first game got a remaster on Steam. So the question is, will there be a new Poker Night game? I can make assumptions as much as I want, but I think that there's a high chance that a third one can actually happen now. So, you already know why you clicked on this video. You want to see who I think should be in Poker Night 3. I'm going to try my best to be as realistic as possible with my choices, because there's certain characters that I'd like to see in Poker Night, but will probably never be in it, solely because of the company that they're owned by. Like, I think that Bender from Futurama would be a fantastic choice as a character, but they're owned by Disney now, so yeah, hell no, they're never going to get into one of these games. So without further ado, let's get into my choices for who I'd like to see in a potential Poker Night 3, starting with...
Dearie, I'm the big bad wolf.
Bigby from The Wolf Among Us. Get your shitty Among Us jokes in the comments below. In previous Poker Night games, Telltale always made sure to include a character from one of their more recent games. Sam and Max and Strong Bad are the examples in the previous Poker Night games, so it only feels right that for a new Poker Night game they would include another Telltale character. Now, it probably makes sense if they did a Walking Dead character from the Walking Dead Telltale games, but personally, I would like to see Bigby from Wolf Among Us. I mean, after all, a new Wolf Among Us game is apparently in the works, but it's been radio silence for a while, so I'm not so sure. If you don't know anything about Wolf Among Us, The Wolf Among Us is about Bigby, who is pretty much the big bad wolf from fairy tales. Him and the rest of the Fables live in Fableton, which is pretty much just the equivalent of a modern day city. The entire appeal of The Wolf Among Us is to kind of see these characters exist in a modern day city. Bigby is the detective of Fableton and is forced to solve a bunch of murders that have happened around there. How I imagine Bigby would act at the table is pretty much being the straight man of the group. These games have a lot of comedy elements to it, so I think a straight man would fit well to pretty much ground the game compared to the other, a lot more crazier characters that I have later on in the video. Though he definitely will still have an edge and definitely be cracking jokes from time to time.
Mirror, mirror, blah blah able, blah 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 about this fable.
See? Was that so hard?
Yeah, I'm about 2 seconds away from kicking a hole in.
I should also probably mention that I want this version of Bigby to specifically be the one that shows up in the Telltale games. Bigby actually showed up in a comic called Fables, which is what The Wolf Among Us is based off of, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like it. Well, I don't think it's bad, I just think that the game is way, way better and takes a lot more advantage of its entire premise. After all, I think that a hardened cop like Bigby would most likely participate in a bit of gambling from time to time. Before I forget, I also wanted to mention what Bigby would have up to offer as an item. If you don't know, in the Poker Night games, the characters offer up items that are very personal to them if they don't have any money to offer, which usually involves unlocks in other games. I don't know if this new Poker Night game will be connected to any games, but let's just say hypothetically that there is. What would Bigby's item be? At first, I originally thought that he would offer up one of his cigarettes that you constantly see him smoke in the games, but I actually think that he should offer up a vial of glamour. Glamour in the Wolf Among Us universe is this magic potion that allows like non-human characters to look human. It's a pretty valuable item in that game series, so I think it'd be appropriate if he put that up for bargain. Now let's move on to our next character, and that character is...
It's my time to shine, baby!
Next up, you knew I had to include a Deadlock character. Valve has already had a major presence in the Poker Night series with both Heavy and GLaDOS showing up in previous entries, so I think it's pretty likely that another Valve character will show up for a Poker Night 3. And with Valve's latest game being Deadlock, and a lot of people enjoying it, including me, I think a Deadlock character should be the #1 choice for a Poker Night 3. But you may ask, why did I pick Viper? Originally, I wanted either Abrams or Wraith. Abrams because he is pretty much John Deadlock and the mascot of the game, and Wraith because, duh, She uses cards. I also think that Wraith could also probably be a pretty good dealer character if they want to go that route. But I'm getting distracted. Why did I pick Viper? Honestly, it's because I think she's the funniest character in the game. I definitely didn't pick her because I main her, because as you can see with the footage that I'm using, I did a both match because I have no idea what the fuck I am doing with this character. I'm not gonna throw my team's match just to get some footage for a YouTube video, but I am being genuine when I say that Viper has some of the funniest lines in Deadlock, in my opinion.
Oh, you killed it at Pole Palace last night.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, me neither.
Seriously, what are you talking about?
Cinnamon, come on. It's me.
Who's Cinnamon?
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I confused you with a very different librarian.
What are you talking about?
You are too pure for this world. I kind of love it.
Viper's character in Deadlock is pretty much a very desperate criminal. She's trying her best to make ends meet, but she's also very desperate. She doesn't have a lot of money and is constantly in jail. But at the same time, she's also constantly breaking out of jail. She also has a very interesting relationship with Lash, one of the other characters on the Deadlock roster.
I can't believe I'm here next to you.
That's what the Lash does. Makes dreams come true.
You smell even better when you're awake.
I honestly have to give props to her voice actress because these lines would not be as good if it wasn't for her amazing delivery. Viper will definitely be a lot more of a loud and abrasive type on the table. She'll pretty much be constantly making accusations that everybody on the table is cheating when she's not in the lead. I also think it would be pretty fun to see her interactions with Bigby, seeing as how the fact that they're both on very different sides of the law. And also, you already know that she's gonna constantly mention Lash every second that she can. As for the item that she would offer, I honestly don't know what it would be. It probably will be her gun, seeing as how the fact that she doesn't really have a lot of items to her name besides that, seeing as how, you know, she's kind of a jobber. Maybe that will change when more details are revealed about Deadlock characters and the game is closer to release, but I'm just basing it off of what I have. Also, hopefully if she is picked for a Poker Night game, it won't be this design and will be her new redesign whenever the fuck that happens. Now let's move on to a character that I think will match Viper's insanity.
I'm number one, baby!
Master Shake from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Just like how Valve had representation in previous Poker Night games, Adult Swim had one of their characters in a previous Poker Night game being Brock Sampson from Venture Brothers. And I love Adult Swim, so obviously I want another Adult Swim character in this new Poker Night game, and I went for a personal favorite show of mine, Aqua Teen Hunger Force. If you asked me like a month ago, I actually would have put a Smiling Friends character here, but I don't know if you heard the news, but I don't think that show exists anymore. Master Shake also wasn't really my first choice for an Aqua Teen character. I originally wanted to put Carl here, but I decided to go with Shake because he will truly be a wild card character, similar to how Max was in the first Poker Night game. Master Shake is pure chaos. There is no reason for most of the things he does besides for his own interest. So a larger than life character like himself could fit perfectly in one of these games.
I know. It's sweltering. I mean, do you guys have a fan or something? I mean, I'm just going to borrow it. I'm not going to keep it.
You are the gayest monster since gay came to Gaytown!
Plus, just like Viper, I think he is the funniest character on Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Next to the cybernetic ghost of Christmas Past from the future. But I highly doubt that if they're gonna pick a Aqua Teen character to be in this game, that it's gonna be him, seeing as how the fact that there's a bunch of other characters that are more recognizable that they'd probably want more. But hey, I guess you never know. Crazier things have happened in the past, and future, and present.
Thousands of years ago, I ran for treasurer of student council.
As I said before, I think that Master Shake will be a pure chaos character. He will give Viper a run for her money with the amount of insane things that he will say and do at the table. Viper and Shake's interactions are the ones that I'm the most interested to see if these were characters selected for a future Poker Night game. Master Shake is constantly coming up with schemes in the show, and I think that Viper is desperate enough to actually be willing to do one of them. I also think that Frylock, Meatwad, and Carl should be in the background of the stage, similar to how other characters from other games show up in the background of Poker Night games. And lastly, I want to mention what his item would be. I think this is a pretty obvious choice, and I couldn't really come up with a better one, but it would probably have to be a Brood Witch. It's from one of the most popular episodes, so I wouldn't be surprised, but if you have any better suggestions on an item, let me know in the comments below. I mean, I was also considering an MCP pants record, but I feel like we're not going to go that juvenile. But now, let's move on to the final player for this Poker Night game, and that would be none other than...
So I will give you a warrior's death.
PG, aka Psycho Goreman. A bit more of a niche take than the other characters I've chosen for this video. Psycho Goreman, or PG for short, was featured in the cult classic movie PG Psycho Goreman. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the movie. I think the movie has a lot of flaws that I can't really ignore, but PG himself is quite the standout. And also, to make sure that I don't get copyrighted, I am not going to be using many clips from the Psycho Goreman movie. So instead, here's some gameplay of Four Souls on Tabletop Simulator that my friend gave me, where PG is one of the cards you can select. Anyway, Poker Night is no stranger to the horror genre, seeing how Ash Williams was one of the featured characters in Poker Night 2, so it wouldn't be too out of place that Psycho Goreman would be included in this game. You'd probably have to nerf him, seeing how the fact that he's an all-powerful being and there's nothing stopping him from just killing everybody in the room. That's why the plot of the movie is him pretty much being nerfed, because a little girl has the stone that contains all of his powers. Yes, that is the plot of the movie, don't judge. Though it would be pretty funny if Psycho Goreman had a secret interaction where he pretty much just kills the entire cast, similar to how Heavy flips the table in Poker Night. While the film is horror and science fiction, it also is a comedy. And I think that the comedy of the Psycho Goreman movie can actually fit pretty well with the writing style of the average Poker Night game.
Look at all the hunky boys.
I do not care for hunky boys. Or do
I think that the way Psycho Goreman should be treated at the table is kinda as the outcast of the group. He can recite all these mythical tales and adventures that he's gone on and show how powerful he really is, but I don't think anyone on the cast would believe him. The comedy pretty much comes from the fact that he's the punchy bag of the group, kinda like how he was mistreated in his own film. One thing that I kinda liked about Poker Night 1 is how every character is pretty much against Tycho. Specifically Strongbad, he bullies him over and over again. I always liked that aspect. Obviously not all the characters would get along with each other, and I think that Master Shake should constantly be taunting and teasing Psycho Goreman throughout the game. So pretty much what I'm saying is that Master Shake and PG should have the same dynamic as Strongbad and Tycho. Finally, what would his item be up to offer? I think it would probably be the stone that controlled him. I know it doesn't make much sense lore-wise, but the Poker Night games have never cared too much about continuity. After all, in Poker Night 2, it established that Ash Williams and Brock Sampson might be related. But if you look at their series separately, they never mention each other. So I'm willing to bend the rules of the continuity of Psycho Goreman just for this one game. All you need to know is that Psycho Goreman is cool and I'd like to see him in more stuff. And there you have it. This is my roster for a potential Poker Night 3. Oh shit, wait a minute, I forgot to add a dealer. Editing me, cut to the dealer right now. Cut to who I picked for the dealer. Jimbo from Balatro. Yes, I'm being serious. The Poker Night games are obviously, well, poker, and what's the most popular game related to poker out there? Very specific genre? It's Balatro. Now, you may ask, how the hell would Jimbo speak? There's no voice acting in Balatro. Well, my dear friend, if you've ever seen the trailers for Friends of Jimbo, then it would be an easy answer on who would play him. Ben Starr played him in the trailer, so I see no problem with having him voice Jimbo in a Poker Night game. Plus, he can give his, special take on Jimbo, I guess. I'm not gonna harp on Jimbo too long, seeing how he's not a player but a dealer. Just know that from time to time, Jimbo will show up and interact with the players, kind of similar to how GLaDOS did in Poker Night 2. I imagine that he will try to act as professional as possible, but from time to time, you'll get a bit of that Ben Star quirk in there. Just like GLaDOS, Jimbo will also offer up an item, and I don't really know what else it would be, but a Joker card. I know, a bit generic, seeing how the fact that we're already playing with cards in this game, but you know, I don't have a lot to work with. I mean, I guess he could just offer up a banana or something. And with that, we for real come to the end of this video. I'm pretty proud on how this roster turned out, but I know not everyone's gonna agree with it. So if you don't, why don't you leave your own roster in the comments below? And if you don't feel like that, I guess I can just go over a bunch of honorable mentions that were almost considered for this video that I haven't already mentioned. The Max from The Max. Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes. Nathan Explosion from Metalocalypse, Chucky from Child's Play, Tony Chu from Chu, Manny Calvera from Grim Fandango, Tankman from Newgrounds. And you know what? Here's like a bonus roster of characters that could be in the game just based off of franchises that were already in previous Poker Night games. Coach Z from Homestar Runner, Dr. Miss the Monarch from Venture Brothers, The Spy from TF2, Zero from Borderlands, and Bosco from Sam & Max as the dealer. There we go. I'm done. Like and subscribe and comment and all that. In the end, none of this matters because I know for a fact that if they make a third game, they're going to put a fucking character from the Amazing Digital Circus, and that's going to make me upset.